After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. San Francisco set to go on offense once more.
And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36.
Well, it wasn't a goal line situation, but how about the goal line formation on 3rd and short? They went in and went heavy. No surprise I knew was going to get the football. How about the power exhibited there?
Yeah, that was just put a hat on a hat, drive forward. Nice job to pick it up. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them. And boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
From the 38 now, here comes 2nd and 8. Purdy. That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. His first catch, good for 9 and a 1st down.
They run with McCaffrey off the option.
Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Purdy bootlegging it. Now, quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead, it's knocked harmlessly to the turf.
And they'll run it here. And he will be out of bounds here on what will turn out to be the final play of this 1st quarter. After one, a 14-3 ball game. The 49ers with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Off the option, he'll try and run with it.
And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave them with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Purdy with it on 3rd and long. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
And his kick is indeed good. And a 2nd field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. Maybe a little fortunate there. That was leaking a little, maybe leaking a lot, but he got it.
Yeah, he actually was able to make it work. How about the body language, though, right? As he watched that ball leak to the right, trying to bring it back in, and had just enough to get it done.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
46 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed, and he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Back to Mixon on first down. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Joe Mixon on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Bengals are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
Zach Taylor's made the decision. They'll go for 2 here. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. McPherson now for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-6. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points.
Kevin McPherson, the kickoff for Cincinnati.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
And he'll lose yardage here, back to the 15. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. Throwing on second and long. Purdy connects with Kittle underneath. It'll go as a gain of 4. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Now Purdy. And he's unable to haul it in, so it falls incomplete over the middle third of the field, and that brings up 4th.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. Jones on the return. A 46-yard boot, but just 36 following a pretty decent return of 10 yards. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. Cincinnati now ready to take the field.
Here we go.
Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. They've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So to themselves, all they're saying is, if we don't make a mistake, there's no way they can stop us.
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. It's a gain of 35.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. They'll stay on the ground. Mixon again. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
Here we go.
Here comes 3rd and about a foot. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. A 3-yard gain and enough for the 1st down.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Jet sweep. Boyd with it. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. And now they will throw it with Burrow. Oh, he stays up. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. The offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Open man is Higgins. So nothing doing there. And it'll be 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
So 4th and 15, but the offense is staying out there to go for it. They'll try and throw for it with Burrow. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Bengals try it, but it doesn't work out. And the 49ers are going to get the football back. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
A little power on the move that time, but still tackled shy of the 20. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
I think they want to start getting back into this game. It behooves them to get better on first down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. Now 2nd and 9. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he'll power his way up near the 25. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Now Purdy working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the 49ers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. On first down, Purdy. And returns it right back to Samuel. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. First down now, but that clock rolling. Purdy looking to throw. Trying for Ayuk, but it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. Now he's loose down the left sideline. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six for a Bengals TD. Well, the way things have been going to this one, Charles, it was only a matter of time before this defense got involved and made a big play. And they do right there. Gosh, this lead is so large, CD, and we're only in the first half.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that's so amazing about it. You mentioned this large lead. How's this their first takeaway of the game? And what a spectacular one it was. Adding to the lead, showing the true dominance, and you're exactly right. We're still in the first half.
Evan McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Well, the 49ers settling in for their next drive. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Purdy will set up to throw it here. And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting it once, you get first half scores just like this one.
The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Purdy now to throw. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Now 2nd and 3. Purdy sets up to throw again. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this ball recovered by the offense. But remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Here's Jones on the return. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly... All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Mixon will get it to start the second half. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync. And the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Floating one, incomplete.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
Looking deep here for Chase. And that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up 4th down.
Here we go.
They're going to try and throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Niners take over in terrific field position. Well, Charles, I guess the only thing I can think there is they've got a 3-score lead, and they're saying, well, we're not going to lose this, so let's have some fun. I don't know why you go for it.
I think that's as good an explanation as any, and we all know that certain coaches are more aggressive than others. That call to me, the fantasy people loved it, right? Anybody who's going to touch the ball, gain yards, maybe put more points on the board, they're happy that they kept it and did that. So, very interesting deal there, but I'm with you on that one. Maybe he just says, what the heck, we can't lose. Let's go ahead and keep trying to win or add to our lead. Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
From the 35, here's a 2nd and 7. Try to get to the outside. This is McCaffrey. And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Connects with Kittle underneath. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
So Purdy off and Moody on for the 49er field goal. It'll come from the right hash. It's a 47-yard attempt. And he missed it. It's no good. And the deficit will hold at 22. The Bengals offense returns to the field. A kind of a lucky break on the prior drive, Charles. The turnover on downs that the offense had didn't come back to bite them after the other side. Their defense came through, was able to hold them without any points.
I would agree with you, partner. A little bit of a lucky break indeed, but you know what they'd say to us? No luck, just pure skill.
And this will be caught at the 30. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. 33 yards that time.
Everything's been going right here in this one. This offense, they've been in complete control from the outset. And here's another big play. These kind of routes have been open all game long, and they continue to take advantage.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Jet sweep. Boyd with it. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two. An excellent run there coming from out wide.
And we used to consider these jet sweeps to be gadget plays or something a little bit unusual, right?
Here we go.
But now most teams have some version of this play in their playbook. And I think it's a lot because of the receivers that are being developed nowadays. These guys look like running backs, even though they're playing out on the perimeter.
Buying time to his left. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit. We decided not to throw it on 1st down. But give them credit. They recovered in time to deny him the 1st down yardage. But it's only 2nd and short. So that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
2nd and a couple. Jet sweep. Boyd with it. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Tyler Boyd taking it in from 11 yards out as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. So another touchdown there, and even though we're still just here in the 3rd quarter, kind of hard now to see them giving up this lead.
And this is just an offense that's imposing its will right now. You name it, they're able to do it. If you're the play caller, whatever you want to select is there. You want to run it, you want to throw it. Pick a play, any play. They're rocking and rolling right now.
And McPherson on for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Just a 4-play drive that time. And in the end, the finishing touch, an 11-yard run.
Kevin McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And able to get this out to the 25. The 49ers ready to set up shop again offensively. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, Let's just say it's been unusual.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Throwing here, Purdy. Looking for the out route. He's got it. Complete to Kittle.
And he'll be out right at the 35. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Back to throw, Purdy. He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
19 yards there on the catch and run.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long, but a nice throw there for a good gain and a 1st down.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 46.
Purdy will look to throw again here. Got a man. That's Ayuk.
And he's taken down inside the 30. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Now what we're seeing, this is much better from this offense, because so far in this game, no touchdown to this point, and what's usually a direct correlation? Very few explosive plays. That's been their issue, not able to make that big shot downfield or break one off, but a nice game there for a 1st down.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey.
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Then he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Well, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday night in the NFL. 3rd quarter, 2nd and 10 coming up. Off the option, here's McCaffrey.
And this time he won't even make it back to the line of scrimmage as they stop him in his tracks. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Here's Purdy. He's going to drop this down to McCaffrey.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Niners passing game in sync now. They've got another 1st down.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
Up the gut, McCaffrey. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
They had 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Purdy now on 2nd down. That one thrown across his body, and it's incomplete.
What a job by this defense all game long. They've come together and really said, no one's crossing our goal line, and they're definitely not going to start right now.
You can just see the dejection. Feel like nothing is working offensively. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Purdy. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he is going to lose yardage here. They call it a loss of a yard there. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there. In this passing game, it just can't get off the ground. And that play, it wound up losing yardage.
So Purdy off and Moody on for the 49er field goal. From the right hash, it's a 38-yard attempt. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember. But down this big, we know that they need touchdowns instead of field goals, but now it's add insult to injury because they can't even get the 3, Charles, on the excellent block there by the special teams.
And it certainly felt to me like the special teams consider themselves an extension of the defense, which has played well for them. They have a nice cushion. They didn't want to allow any points, any opportunity to cut into their lead. A big-time play by those guys on that side of the ball.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. He'll throw from the gun. And oh, that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. 2nd and 10 here as we roll along in quarter number 3 from Santa Clara. Inside handoff to Mixon. Dancing away at the 35. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 126 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. This goes out wide for Mixon. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
From the gun, a give to Mixon. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here in Santa Clara. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. From a couple of yards beyond midfield, here's 2nd and 8.
Ready? Mike my board, Mike my board, Mike my board. Big stop, G. Big stop, let's go.
Again, it's Mixon. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. They give those 2 yards right back, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and to big yardage all night long.
Off the play fake, here's Burrow. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
And this has been the story all night long. They just came out firing and have not backed off, even with the big 4th quarter lead. Here's another completion for big yardage.
Burrow. And he's going to look that one in one-handed. What a catch for the touchdown. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Burrow and the Bengals offense staying put. They'll go for 2 here. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. McPherson on for the point after. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown. Oh, this is a touch cruel here. They've got the big lead. Now they're going for the jugular with the onside kick. And the 49er hands team does its job. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Now on 1st down, it's Purdy. Escaping the pressure right. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only 1st down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
The throw on the quick slant going to be complete. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he is going to have a Niners 1st down, and he's going to have it by plenty, able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2.
And that's one of those where it feels like backyard football in a sense. You say, forget about the route. Just run to the open spot in the middle of the field, and I'll find you. Good throw, good concentration on the catch, and they pick up the 1st down.
Purdy looking to throw on 1st down here. That's caught out right by Jennings. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 13 yards there and a Niner 1st. This is McCaffrey on the give. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
Another run with McCaffrey on 2nd down. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal.
So a decent deficit at this stage in the 2nd half. 4-down territory?
No doubt about it. There's not a chance that he hasn't looked ahead and said, okay, if we gain yardage on this play, this is what we'll do going forward.
And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Jerron Jennings, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the 49ers are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter.
Well, CD, they just haven't had a whole lot to cheer about or really grasp onto in this game. They've been dominated, but at least they get a late touchdown here, something positive to put on film for tomorrow's session.
Yeah, they're still trying to execute, trying to get some positives on their board and ledger sheet and keep this from being a total loss. Give them credit. They're going down fighting.
Moody good with the extra point.
As they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play.
So here's Moody back out there now to send this one away. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. The Bengals drive about to get going. But not that any of the points would be needed, but CD, they've got enough time left here. They could definitely score on this. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. He may go. And he's got it all the way down to the 12-yard line. 180 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Flushed out right. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
They'll accept that penalty.
After the penalty, it's Mixon. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Being chased out left. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD.
Joe Burrow taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Bengals have sewn this one up as they add to their lead here in the 4th. But Charles, in this win, they've really just had one speed, and that's been all out. They're still driving the ball downfield despite the circumstances and the big lead, and they just continue to find ways to get into the end zone with ease.
They're certainly in that zone where almost everything they try is successful and often leads to points. Teams don't get those types of games very often, so when they do, many of them just want to take advantage of it to the last second.
They'll let Mixon try and run it in. And he will not make it to the goal line as this try for 2 is going to come up empty. But that's little consolation to this defense as they have been porous all game long.
I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit, but going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, I mean, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
And that one goes incomplete on the drop. That's one he definitely normally catches. Fourth down.
Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game. And that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them, holding them under 200 today.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Call it an even 40-yard punt, 7 though on the return. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10. The Bengals set to take over. This has really just been a lopsided affair. What a performance they put on, and now they get the football back here with a big lead in the 4th quarter. You know, in the past, we might be discussing dinner plans, talking about steak and sushi, whatever the case is, CD. This ball game is pretty much well in the books.
Yeah, we really could have started bringing up dinner a long time ago if we wanted to, partner. And I think a few of the guys out in the field already making plans for the evening.
They try to eat some clock with Mixon. Oh, what a juke into space. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Boy, 203 yards for him on the ground, as this has been a night to remember to this point. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game.
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. McPherson now for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And the long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The 49er offense now making their way out onto the field. Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
Here's Purdy on 1st and 10. He'll get this into the hands of Ayuk. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down. Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the 4th quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
It'll go down as a gain of 6.
And that'll make it second down. Back to throw. Purdy.
Back to Deebo Samuel for consecutive catches.
And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 45-yard line. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now. But as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel.
And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the fourth. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he was able to shed one tackle but could not get away from there.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he found the end zone on his last carry, and they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
Here we go. 2nd and 5.
Again, it's Mixon. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, when they said before the game that they were going to try and execute every second of this contest, I guess that was taken literally, because here they are in the final moments of the fourth, putting another touchdown on the board, Charles, to add to this big lead.
I'm not a big believer in 110%. But it certainly applies here, doesn't it? Because some guys just can't go with less. As long as there's time left on the clock, they're pushing to get to the end zone one more time. They don't really care about what the optics show. They just want to finish the game off the way that they like to play it. Full speed, all out.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Purdy with one final shot here.
And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go to each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say good night from Silicon Valley.